race. The first race is race 1. That's where we start these type of things. And let's get the market. Not too many moves here. Drake Bay's at 4.60 for Vinny. Because has been consistent. It's going to win a maiden race at some stage. It's had a few chances. It's $2 for a man I think could be a real factor in the Jockeys Premiership this year in Craig Grills. Thaddeus, looking at the market, it doesn't appear there's been too much of a lead for anything so far in the first on the card.
There's a couple of long odds they don't mind, Michael, but because of their $2 favourite, it's been certainly steady at that point. I think it was $2.10 this morning when we reopened, all these markets opened up. So just come in ever so slightly because, look, he ran second behind Beauty Star at his last start, and then Drake Bay ran third in that race. We haven't seen any money for Drake Bay in the race, but because it's certainly steady and well supported, would deserve a win. Hanua Hank, good second last time out. It's getting nearer to a win. We are seeing some support at around $7 in the two. I need to mention at long odds that they don't mind. Defibrillate, I've got to try and get that right, Defibrillate. Had support at Hastings on debut, caught wide and it was a tough run. There was support then, there's support again today around the Richardson Parker runner, and also Hey Soul Sister was making up some good ground in its debut for Sean Ritchie out there. I think it was $16 or $18, now into $14, and probably actually our worst result in the race at this stage, Michael, Hey Soul Sister.
Let's look at the speed map for the first on the card. It's a case of if you're not backing because you're having to find something else to back because it clearly stands out as the form horse in the race. We are thinking She's Like Her will go forward. BP, I'll be honest, I don't want to back because, not because I don't think it'll win, but because horses who get beaten all the time don't deserve to be $2 chances. But I can't find something else to back.
Yeah, and I think the key factor for this horse today is it's got to be the gate and a great chance to be able to utilise that barrier draw. As you spoke about Craig Grills as well doing the riding, so yeah, hence is the reason why I'm leaning towards the runner. Aidan Rodley, he's scooted back with gumboots off and back in the presenting area to talk about race number 1, and this is the form reference we want to be using, Aidan, the race where Because has been beaten late by Beauty Star. You've got a line through Drake Bay and Global Diamond out wide as well, but how do you see the first?
Well, you look at Drake Bay, that's the horse one off the fence. It's just about to angle into it. I thought this was, you know, a performance where you think, wow, I want to be on that horse next time out. But when you actually look at, in the end, Drake Bay just coming through them, that's a really, really nice run and ends up getting third. But I just think because it works so hard mid-race to get up and sit outside the leader, and prior to that the saddle had slipped and it had been so game in there. I understand what Michael's saying, that the horse has had a lot of chances in maiden company, but I think is starting to get really solid. Like you said, Senior Jockey goes on from a good inside gate and I think will be really hard to beat. I think I'd be saving on the race on Drake Bay, but I'm really keen on Because. I thought it was definitely a bet even though it was at the shorts around $2.
Yeah, for sure. So start number 14 today, but an opportunity to break through. I was happy to have something on him. Just try and start my day off and look to double my cash in the first of the day. Michael?
Second of the cards over the 2,100 metres, and Thad, as we get to the market here, it's going to be interesting to see how much of a tsunami starts, maybe today, for this combination. Tiakau, Opie Bosson, anything with any form of theirs. We've seen 320 to 290 for Back to Master. This could be the start of a spring avalanche of money for one stable, Thad. I don't think we would have seen much in the past.
You're scaring me, Michael, it's fair to say. Let's hope that's not the case. No, I'm only joking. Look, they do have an awfully strong team. We saw that at the trials during the week. They're going to be a real force this season, and that's why they've been backed in so heavily in the Premiership to go and do that. So they're going to get their fair share of wins. Maybe it will start with Back to Master, and he's certainly been well back to take this out. He's got a consistent form line, a bit of Because about him in terms of his form line. I'd suggest he's a little bit of a money muncher, but certainly they're going to give him another go today, Back to Master. We thought Twin Spinner was a big chance. He's going to race up on the speed and probably put himself right in the race. So, look, his win last start was two starts ago was very good around Twin Spinner. If you line that form up with Red John, though, Red John beat a Twin Spinner home at Rotorua last time, and at $14, you can understand why there's a little each-way nibble around Red John when you line that Twin Spinner form up. They're just thinking maybe Twin Spinner a little bit short at $3. And we've had no money for Easy Walking, who's an improver at his first run over ground, we thought, but that's been 4 out to 5. So clearly best backed here is Back to Master. Each way, Red John at $14.
Speed map over the 2100 metres, not a long run to the first bend there at Te Rapa. Well, I think a Back to Master can potentially go forward, but B-Pop, as I come back to you, more often than not when they race at 2100 or 2000 metres at Te Rapa, we often see the pace taken out of the race around that first bend and even halfway down the back straight. I find them often quite tricky to bet on because if there's no tempo, even though it's a longer race, at the 600 you can be in a lot of trouble if you're in the second half of the field.
Yeah, correct. And I think you're right there. Maybe we will see a positive ride from Opie with Back the Master, who's the one I thought was the horse to beat off the last run when running in behind Just Treasure as well. Arjun is maybe a horse who can be going forward. He's just not in form at the moment. He was badly beaten at Rotorua last start, but he does get 3 kilos off. This was the race, Aidan, where obviously we did lose a runner sort of as I was just heading into the back straight, and Just Treasure was good when closing and Back to Master into second position. What do we take from this as a guide?
Well, he's the sort of horse who doesn't win a lot. He's only won 1 of 14, but he has been knocking on the door, and he's been solid enough. Pyrian Spring's done a lot of work in the last couple. Was sent 6 wide from, I think, about 3 turns. It was 6 wide at Tauranga 2 starts back, and was really good last time out in that Just Treasure race. Just Treasure goes around in open company. I had Back to Master on top, narrowly over Twin Spinner. Twin Spinner is okay. The form's been pretty good. That win a couple of starts back was by a margin and beat home Dr. Velocious in there, and Dr. Velocious has come out and won a maiden by 4, so that's okay. How did you see it?
Look, I like Just Treasure in the open handicap,
Yeah.
so I've got to like this horse here who was beaten in behind Just Treasure. So look, I'm going with the one Back to Master on top in front of Twin Spinner. The form lines are there around the horse from 2 starts ago. Look, the double happy win looks pretty good now with that horse coming out and winning, of course, last week in a Saturday maiden as well. The other horses I was maybe looking at, you like the Pyrian Spring and maybe Easy Walking, who was, look, set a bit of a task on a very testing track at Tauranga when we last presented over more ground, and was able to battle on well into 3rd position. But yeah, I was liking Back the Master in the first as well, Michael, and the second.
All right, boys, on to the third on the card. It's one of the open handicaps for the days for the stayers. And interesting here, Thad, we're seeing the tightening of the market for BT Junior, also for Suleiman and Lambrusco. But is that because of money for them, or the scratching of Pacorus, meaning a tightening of the overall percentage?
Yeah, I think you've spotted it, Michael. What I can say about this race is it's wide open and they're backing a number of them to win this one. Probably best backed is Suleiman. His win last time, very good. He likes the Te Rapa surface. You can see he's currently tote favourite around Suleiman. But yeah, I can't give you too much of a lead here, Michael. If you like one, get on. It's not often we're winning on BT Junior, and we are today, so that makes me a little bit nervous around his chances. Look, Lambrusco going for 3 in a row would deserve another one. He's flying, but what the marketplace is telling me is any one of the 8, is it the 8? The 8 could potentially win it. We're even seeing money for You Want More, who wouldn't mind a shower of rain, you wouldn't think, but he was running around in the Rotorua Cup last time, so many chances. Best backed, I can tell you, though, is Suleiman.
There's 7, Thad.
Thank you.
There's
I knew I'd get that wrong. Thank you, Michael.
Okay. Thad obviously doesn't have 8 fingers, he can't count to 8, but that's good because if the bookmakers can't count, you've got more chance of making some money. Back to you, BP, as we look at the speed map here for the third on the card, and this probably sums up where we are in this country with 2,000 metre plus races. We always have horses like BT Junior who have been there and they've done that, but they've got the big weights, and more often than not, in the last couple of years, the young guns coming through, or the in-form horses, Lambrusco, Suleiman, Just Treasure, get the horses with the bigger weights. That seems to have been the pattern for much of the last 2 years. Is it going to happen here?
Yeah, I like the 2 at the bottom. I do, Michael, for that reason. They both come in with the weight relief, and they both come in with winning form, and more so Lambrusco. A bit of a decision you would have thought for Ashwin Gundasamy as well. He did ride Lambrusco when winning last time to the races, and also Just Treasure, and he's stayed with the Sam Logan horse, who, look, he's just got better with a couple of runs under the belt and looks to be a nice progressive type, and this is the right sort of race to have a shot at, you would imagine. BT Junior, look, he's covered the world last start, and he's going to have a 60 kilos, but with what he did last time to the races, you have to say maybe he has a bit of a sneaky chance, even though he has to lug the bigger weight, because we know that he's more than capable in this sort of grade. Find the overall race a little bit tricky, Aidan, because it's a sort of race. It's on their day they can win those horses at the top of the book.
Absolutely, but Lambrusco was really impressive. BT Junior was brave. There's just no two ways about that. He does go up 2.5 kilograms and does meet Lambrusco 2 kilograms worse. Lambrusco beaten him by 3, so it's tough to turn the tables there. And Francis Drake wasn't bad. Ran the quickest last 600 of this race as well, but Lambrusco was a 6th length, the rating 65 winner, 2 starts back, and like you say, you like Just Treasure as well. These are 2 horses on the minimum, plus they've got the claim. They're carrying 51.5 and 51, so there is an advantage there, no doubt.
Well, let's go back to Suleiman, runner number 6. Now, he was winning here last time to the races, and look, he did beat an eventual horse who went on to win the Tabaranui Gold Cup. That, of course, been very flash. This was back on the 20th of July, Aidan.
Yep, it was a good win. He's a horse who sat outside the leader this day. Had been okay in the previous starts, but not up to this, and it was a good performance. And I take a little bit of a guide through the run at Ellerslie 4 starts back or 3 starts back. This horse was right alongside Lambrusco. I think they ran 4th and 5th. There was nothing between them. So on that is some sort of chance, but I just think Lambrusco might be the horse who's progressing a little bit better. So I've gone with Lambrusco on top. The other one I do have a bit of respect around is Athena Baby, who's been going really well in good races.
All right, yeah, I'm with the 2 at the bottom. I was sort of when the market was at sort of 3s and 8s, I was maybe just happy to try and back them both, really, Lambrusco and Just Treasure. I thought Just Treasure, it's sort of that sort of $7 or $8 I was happy to take on with getting down to that weight of 51 kilograms.
On to the 4th on the card. It's over the metric mile, the 1,600 metres with Sky City Hamilton. Great sponsors of Rapa. And Thad, I thought this was really interesting. You see, one of the biggest plunges of the day has come for Polly Gray. She's only won 3 races and 38k. And here's Andoyas, who's won 700,000 at the top of the market, and Volante, who's won over $100,000. This seems to be a very big move for a horse who's very much coming in at the lower end of the weight scale.
Yeah, it is, but she's been in tremendous form, Michael, Polly Gray, and look, no loitering in Polly Gray Quinella, probably the form race to follow out of the, as far as we're concerned, last time out. So, look, she's been flying. She was a good winner 2 starts ago. She was a tough second when she was well back last time. So people want to be on a mare in form there around Polly Gray. So she has been 6 into 480. I mean, the likes of Andoyas, we know on his day he could come out and round this field up and no problem at all. But which Andoyas are we going to see? Well, I'm not too sure, and perhaps that's why you are getting $12. The Baker Forsman team have a pair in here, Crafty Jess and also LIR. Both had a bit of a freshen up since June. And I see Crafty Jess shorter on the totes, but at this stage we're taking more money for LIR, so make what you like about that. Irish Flame has good support for John Wheeler, second up into this. The resuming run was pretty good at Rotorua, and it has got a pretty good second up record. So John Wheeler's tripped Irish Flame up, and at $8 they are having a nibble there. Clearly best back Polly Gray, but there's a bit of a spread behind, in particular for LIR, Irish Flame, and even Volante stepping back and trip after that Kiwi Fruit Cup win.
Thad, I want to ask you an interesting question about how the bookmakers size up jockeys, because the 2 biggest punting syndicates in Australia, I've spoken to them both, and jockeys are a crucial factor. Now, no loitering is in this race at $6.50 into $4. Erin Leighton is not someone we've seen a lot of. She's obviously ridden the horse recently and has done a good job. How much of a factor are apprentice or lesser known jockeys compared with Opie Bosson for the way you price races?
Oh, look, they're absolutely a consideration. You'd be foolish not to consider that. But look, Erin Leighton has been particularly good with this horse, so he has an affinity with no loitering. At the end of the day, we've got to go with the form on paper and trust that the jockeys will do their job. I guess, if anything, if you do have an Opie Bosson or a Matthew Cameron aboard, maybe that brings their price down 1 roll or 2. Rather than potentially pushing prices out when we have a jockey that might be less known. So we've gone with the form on the board. She's done very, very well with no loitering last couple of starts. So, yep, it's a factor as always, Michael, but also that form, there's a number of considerations we must take into account.
Let's look at the speed map for the 4th on the card over the 1,600 metres, and we are thinking that Tweedledee and Volante can be poking forward. Potentially no loitering can be too. As I come back to you, BP, let's talk about one of the more confusing horses in New Zealand racing. Andoyas is a pretty nice horse, and he's got ability to be a Cups horse, but sometimes I get the feeling, BP, he goes to the races and thinks, I'd rather be somewhere else.
Yeah, he is. He's that horse, isn't he? And he's a horse that they're just trying to work out, aren't they? Like, it's 2,000, 1,600 metres. They're trying to get the best out of him. And at times he's ranged up like, gee, this horse is going to be winning next time to the races. Then he doesn't quite put in the next time to the races. He hasn't had the rubber of the green a couple of times, has Andoyas, and he has been let go today, hasn't he? He's in that price where would he be able to turn up and finish in the money this afternoon at around $12s and $3? I'm happy to try and play against him because I have been on that bandwagon of trying to find the day that he does get up and win, and unfortunately I need to start backing some other runners. And it's a race where I do like a couple, and obviously no loitering is the obvious one, first of all, Aidan, because of what the runner has been doing of late. How do we see the horse today? Going up to a rating 82, gets down to 54 kilograms, and interesting for that money on Polly Gray, a horse that he did beat here on this occasion, finishing into second position. How do you line up these two runners here today?
Really keen on Polly Gray. She was terrific here. She's hit the line strongly, just gets through this gap, which is tightened up there with Tweedledee, but hits the line really strongly. Went out better supported of the pair of them this day, and comes in 1.5 kilograms better off. If she'd had more luck in running, I think the result would have been different. I think Polly Gray's a great bet in the race.
Yeah, it certainly sits in a better place this afternoon in the weights as Polly Gray, and that's why we've probably seen that good, strong support for the runner.
I was surprised to see it out a little bit longer yesterday. I think it's right into its right price now.
Okay, well, it's a race where I know that a couple of others have been nibbled at. LIR's a horse who's probably got a little bit of support as well with the Ashwin Gundasamy factor as well. This is a horse I do like.
Yeah.
Irish Flame. Now, I'm taking you back here to Auckland Cup Day when it was a heavy 10. The horse won a rating 72 with 61.5 kilograms on his back when Lee Thinners was aboard.
I think you see no loitering out there. Second to the outside too.
Second up today, good run first up. I'm happy to be on him each way today.
Absolutely. He's gone around in some really good fields. This time, the last preparation, he was running in Taranaki Cups at Group 3 and thing. Every time he's gone around in good races, he's been competitive, and I think he's a really... they have found him in the market. He's been in that right spot, but I thought it was down to these two horses. I've got real respect around LIR, Fresh Up, because we know what that ability is as well. Interesting about Endorse, I was out there on Thursday morning and spoke to Andrew Scott and Lance O'Sullivan. They said they've been putting the horse over fences, so he's been doing a bit of schooling. And you think about that run 2 starts back here. If Craig Grylls hadn't dropped his whip, I think he might have beaten Solden in the swing. So Craig Grylls back on, stick in the hand at the end of the race. Who knows?
All right. Stick with them, team, anyway. Of course, a lot of our friends in the ownership of Andoyas, but I'm keen to have something on Irish Flame in the race. Michael, I've made him my value bet for the afternoon.
It was my each way chance too. I thought, as you said, that run on Cup Day suggested he's good enough to win at this level, and that pipe opener he should be fine second up to be a chance over the 1,600 metres. We stayed at the same distance for the 5th on the card. And Thad, I want to ask you a question here which many of us probably think about, but we don't know the answer to. You opened a horse here, the Old Cougar, who may or may not win. You opened at $41 and it's come into 23. Now that sounds like a significant move. What sort of money does it take to almost halve a horse's price when it starts that long?
Well, it all depends, Michael, to be perfectly honest. Depends how much turnover we've had on other runners in the race, but particularly early when the money arrived first thing when we opened, we probably make a sharper move than we certainly would do in the last hour of betting. So that probably answers your question to some degree, but yeah, there is enough money. It's worst result in the race, the Old Cougar. 41 into 23, and yeah, if you look at the form on paper, someone knows something, because I'm not seeing a heck of a lot around it. We know that the winner of 2 races, it's just hasn't practically shown its ability in the last few, but the 4th at Hastings, perhaps 2 starts ago, if we see something near that, it may be competitive in the race. But yeah, it's a decent move for the Old Cougar. There's a few they're backing here though, Michael, Mr. Incredible and Straight Sets, both come out of a race behind Crystallise on the track, and Crystallise starting a reasonably short price favourite later on in the card. So at $10, Mr. Incredible's been well backed. Straight Sets as well at 7.5 was almost the subject of a betting plunge 2 starts ago at Te Rapa. I think it was about $16 or $17 into around 8 or 9 at the jump, and just ran second that day. The favourites have been easy. Beauty Star coming out of Maidens has been around $4.50 out to $5.50, so we're not seeing a lot of money there. And even Seductress, who was a good second at Matamata behind DJ Mack in a rating 65. That's been a little bit easy as well. Darjan Shan, the CD rater there for Gavin Sharrock, good win last time in 72 grade. There is a sprinkling there as well. So it's a wide open betting race. They are backing a few. I would say each way Straight Sets and Mr. Incredible, and watch out for the Old Cougar. I'll be watching.
Okay, speed map for the 5th on the card. Looks a really tricky race because Beauty Star was good last time, and if Because wins the 1st on the card, maybe it's a nice push for Beauty Star who beat it last time. But BP, as we come back to you, I thought Beauty Star is like a lot of horses who leave maidens. They get to rating 65 and they're at the top of the weights, which seems an awful lot of weight when you consider you're up against horses who are more established in that grade. They've had a couple of losses or placings and they're actually below you. So maybe that's why so few horses get to 65 and win automatically in this country.
Yeah, I reckon it's one of the hardest step-ups you can find in the game, is going from being a maiden winner to then come out and try and win your next start in rating 65. And Beauty Star is a horse who did win that race nicely, and we might see the form frank up early in the day if Because can get it done. I thought overall a tough race, a very tough race number 5. I did like Darshan Shan running number 2, and we'll take you back to the run last time to the races aid. And now this was in rating 72 company. And was the winner and comes back to a rating 65. He's had a couple of starts here, but did go back over them, and look, did finish 4th and 6th in both of those efforts here at this venue. How did you line the race up?
Well, it looked like he was going to be a really good horse early on. He's just gone through the motions. I heard Gavin Sharrock after this win sort of saying that, you know, there was a few bad rides along the way. Sam Collick did a really nice job this day, got him in the right spot, and as Thad said, he's rating 72 winner last time out, dropping back to 65, so he's got to be some sort of chance. I was all over the 8 here, Seductress, actually, BP. I thought the running behind DJ Mecco I really like was good last time, beat Van Blanc a couple of starts back, and we're seeing that form really stack up nicely. And that Matamata second last time out, the horse who was 6th in that race was Just Treasure, who goes around in open company after a last start 65 win. I just thought there was really good form about Seductress, who I've mapped as the leader in the race.
All right, that's a 65 1600, and yeah, look, an open race, Michael.
I think a lot of punters won't have definitive opinions on that yet. Most will have definitive opinions on the next on the card. The Foxbridge Plate has gone from strength to strength. It used to be a very strong race. We had a couple of small fields over a couple of years, and now Valachi have jumped on board with US Navy flag, and man, he was a hell of a juvenile racing in Europe, that horse. This is a good field. Thaddeus, we know all the money's come for the Shark. We settled on $2 this morning as the price. Is there any chance it's going to get shorter? Is there any chance people who want to go on the Shark Attack should do so now? Or is $2 rock bottom?
I wouldn't say it's rock bottom, Michael. It will certainly hold up for a little bit longer. We've had another $10,000 bet since I joined you an hour ago, or $10,000 each way on Te Akau Shark at the $2. But look, we're pretty happy at that price currently. He won't get much shorter and he won't get much longer. I'm pretty happy with the $2 as it stands. So we'll watch that obviously closely, but I'm pretty happy with the $2, and customers are happy. Everyone's happy, Michael. It's a lovin' around Te Akau Shark at the moment at $2. There's enough money on Melody Bell to give me a little bit of hope. I was nervous that we wouldn't see a bean for Melody Bell with all this money for Te Akau Shark. Obviously, them racing out of the same stable there, but yeah, just enough on Melody Bell at 3.8 to suggest we are. She is obviously some sort of chance. Of course, she's some sort of chance. Multiple Group 1 winning mare. So, but I'm pleased to see that money. We had a 2,500 Melody Bell. Helena Baby's our get out of jail horse, I think, in the race, Michael. We've priced it relatively short in this market, $4.60. There's still a nibble for it at that price, but yeah, look, going to be up on the speed, Helena Baby. If it can kick clear, get a little bit of a lead, and the Shark will be charging late, you would think. The horse that they don't like in the top 4 is Endless Drama. So look, back from Queensland, maybe with the Tarzino on its mind, with a clash with Melody Bell and one run under its belt to fit it for this. We know it's good enough to be more than competitive. Hard to see it running out sort of the top 4 or 5, but not seeing a lot of win money for Endless Drama. And then there's a big jump, a really interesting market, 4 horses in single figures, and a very, very big jump to the next. A couple for you at longer odds that I will mention. Malambo. Been a little nibble at Malambo this morning, particularly each way. It was a good one last time on the track. 41s currently, and $4.40 around Malambo. And also good old Authentic Paddy placed in the race last year. People can't get over the 91s and $8.50 around Authentic Paddy as it stands. So people there on there. The 11-year-old, I think he is 10-year-old, I'm doing a disservice to Authentic Paddy to run some sort of a race fresh up as he did last year in this race. So Malambo and Authentic Paddy. But yeah, if anything beats the Shark, Michael, we'll be in Clover here in Petone.
Things I didn't expect to hear this morning. 10,000 each way on Te Akau Shark. Someone's taking $1.25 for a place. Look, good luck to you. I hope you win. I suppose it negates some of your losses.
Maybe lessening, exactly, yeah. So you're only going to lose 7,500 if he does run second. So I suppose that's what the customer's thinking.
Don't you love it, Fab, when you say you're only going to lose 7,500?
Yeah, exactly. Easy, no problem.
Let's get on track to the boys. Fellas, this is one of those races where Te Akau Shark might just turn up and monster them and we'll go, yeah, told you. We all saw that coming. But are we maybe underselling the fact that Endless Drama ran third in a Stratty and it wasn't that long ago? Or the fact that Melody Bell won 5 Group 1s, or BP, even the fact that Helena Baby's rock hard fit, and these other horses can't possibly be rock hard fit.
Yeah, I think all those equations come into the mixture of what's going to be a great race. It really is, because with Te Akau Shark, with where he's drawn and in his pattern, he's going to get back as well. So he's a horse that's going to be, it could be an awkward watch early, and there could be some horses up front that are in a better position than him, and obviously likes of Helena Baby and even Melody Bell if they do want to be positive, and Endless Drama with the barrier draw. So his 3 biggest dangers are going to be in front of him, and they're going to be in possibly better spots. But as we know, he just gobbles up the line as well, Te Akau Shark, and his trials have just looked like that he's on song and he is ready to go. Let's go over his trials now, Aidan. First of all, this trial which was here on the inside track, and he joins in for fun. We haven't seen him since the Copelands. We've heard good things with his progression pre and post this trial as well.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a test on the heavy track, just to give us a bit of a guide for today. We know his best win is over 1,600 metres, but he's won over 1,100. He's run over 1,200 metres. And, yeah, this was a really nice performance. Just one in behind him goes around later in the program of Tony Pikes. Might be worth keeping an eye on as well. But Te Akau Shark was really good. And, yeah, we're just hoping he bounces back to his best form here this afternoon.
Okay. We'll go over these videos and we'll look at Melody Bell. On the face of it, a fear trial, but as we've heard from Jamie throughout the week, that they know that once they get her blinkered up, get her to the races, and she's done this before, that they know that they're hoping they will see that turnaround.
Absolutely. Talking to the jockeys who were riding the track this day, they said the inside wasn't the place to be, so out wider on the track they were certainly able to make better ground, and we know that she switches on, and we know that she hates losing. How many times last year was she beaten in Group 1 races, yet she was able to pick herself up and get herself across the line, so we'd expect that spirited performance from her again, just as she produced last year in beating Julius in this race.
Well, let's go to Helena Baby. Now, he is the rock hard fit horse, and he wins the Opanaki Cup by 5 on the line, does Helena Baby. So he's going to be up front. He's got conditions to suit. So many things, that tick the right boxes. Is he now capable of stepping up to this sort of grade? Group 1 type race. It is a Group 2 race today, but obviously Group 1 horses.
Yeah, it's a big test because he's got to step up and wait and to wait for age. But geez, he's been impressive coming through the grades. And the thing is, he's not just beating these type of horses. That's Rosewood, who's come out and placed in a Winter Cup next time out. He's putting a space on them. He's doing it with real dominance and arrogance. And bookmakers they're not at all budging on his price, are they? So there's something there as well. So you've got to respect them. I really like the horse, but whether he can beat Te Akau Shark and Melody Bell, I'm a bit dubious, but I really respect him.
Yeah, so often sometimes in these earlier races, you think over the years the better horse is returning up against a horse who's had a few starts and been winning, and he's that type of horse that can beat these. I think this is his best chance to try and beat them anyway, is Helena Baby. Here's Endless Drama. Now, this is a very good trial. He's gone a second quicker than Te Akau Shark. That's a key factor to this trial, isn't it? He lets down strongly. He has a barrier draw where he can take a spot. Third in the Stradbroke when he last went to the races, and an Easter winner. And
doing it so effortlessly and untested as well. I saw Leith Innes before he left the racetrack on this trials day, and he was very excited about the way he was progressing. So for a Stradbroke handicap winner to come back and trial so well on heavy going, which there's a bit of a school of thought to think he might not handle it so well, but yeah, he's a factor in this race, and of course he does draw really well as well, so he should be able to get a decent run.
Yeah, where do you think he can sit?
Well, I've got him mapped 3 back the fence, 4 back the fence in fact. So, but there is a spot 3 back the fence if they really want to push the button. But we saw from those runs in Brisbane that he was okay chasing, and so you look at that Kingsford Smith Cup run when he came from back. They had to go back to the fence from a wide draw that day, but geez, he shot along the inside, didn't he? So yeah, he's got to be a factor in the race. I really respect him. In the end, I've gone with Te Akau Shark on top. I'm just hoping we get that excitement factor that we've sort of seen from him on race day, and we see it in the Foxbridge Plate this afternoon. How about you?
Yep, I'm with Te Akau Shark, but also very wary of Endless Drama. I thought Endless Drama was a terrific place bet in the race. There was $2.30 available. I think it's now $2.15. I think we've seen enough in his trial to suggest that he's ready to go and run a big race. So I went with Te Akau Shark and happy to try and back Endless Drama for a place.
Looking forward to it, boys. Everybody is. We've been waiting a long time to see these horses back. We're waiting for 8 or 9 months for the Shark to return. Can he do it for all the big punters? We'll find out just after 3:30 this afternoon. On to the next on the card, Thaddeus. And I tell you what, I've had one bet today. I've only had one bet. I'm going to the rugby later on, and I don't know what to make of the Foxbridge, but I like the horse in this race. I'm not sure the track's going to play my way, but Tiny Terror at $10, I think, my bearded friend, you've been very generous.
Tricky race. You picked a tricky race to have your bet of the day. One bet of the day, Michael. Look, yeah, many chances is probably what I can say there. And look, Tiny Terror's resuming run at Pukekohe, very good, and wasn't bad either behind Wisdom Patch. And that's the same race that our favourite comes out of. That's Lock It In. So you're lining your form up well there, Michael. They're backing many here, though. Look, tell you what, for Alan Sharrock, Opie Boss on the board. There is good money for the CD Raider here. We saw Simoon at that trial there. Little nibble for Simoon around $9. Tiny Terror you mentioned. Nuclear Fusion, currently $6.40 on the tote. Des Coppins made this his value bet of the day on Radio Trackside this morning. It was $21. Tried a 1400 metre race at Rotorua, sort of resuming after a couple of months off. Back to 1200 metres where it goes a lot better, or has done certainly in the past. That has been a good each way go around Nuclear Fusion. Couldn't rule many out here. There's even money for Prodigal Son first up after a trial win. So, yeah, I'm not giving you too much away here. I would say best backed at this stage, tell you what, but it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, let's look at the speed map for the penultimate here at Te Rapa, because by this stage of the day, the inside could be off, or it could be paved in gold, and the market could completely change over what we think might happen. And we think there's a whole bunch of them who can go forward. That may be dictated too by what's happened earlier. Brendan, as we come back to you, I was on Tiny Terror because I'm thinking the inside's going to hold up today. Now, I could be completely wrong, but over the last 18 months, Brendan, I'm finding that when I want to have a bet, Cameron Lammas has become a plus jockey to me. I add a point and give it a point extra if I'm having a decent play if Cameron's on. Do you feel the same way about him?
I do. I really do. I have a lot of success when keen on a runner and Cameron Lammas is on board, because so often he gets it done. Yeah, you're right about track conditions, and that's what makes it hard probably for those that want to put on early quaddies and pick sixes, that you really want to try and assess things early and see if they are going to be holding that inside position. And Tiny Terror is a horse who can certainly take advantage of that, who's drawn close to the rail and drawn in barrier number 1. I do like Zamoon, and I think Aidan found that as well in that trial and behind Te Akau Shark. So let's watch the trial again, and we've no doubt we've watched this trial a few times with Te Akau Shark. So let's just eliminate him and look for the horse Aidan in the Trelawney colours just in behind them, the daughter of Fastnet Rock, who will be having her first start here in this country. Of course, a winner in Pakenham over 1,400 metres when breaking maidens.
Yeah, it was with Mick Price over there. So just gets into tight quarters here and is eased off heels, and that sort of makes it look a little bit worse. But then Lees just says, oh, let's see what you got, and just cruises up really nicely. It was a nice performance. Tony Pikes described those 2 trials as quiet trials, both of them, and I think they're pretty happy with the way the horse is going into this. It's a really tricky race. I was in with Tiny Terror as well. So I know you look at that maiden win here. I think it was in the 3-year-old race on the first August meeting. You know, the horses in behind, Cyber Attack, Nalisa Kindis, Lord Arthur, More Wonder, were all in her wake that day, and she was a 9-length trial winner leading in. The 2 runs are back have been okay, and does make Lockett in 1.5 kilograms better. So yeah, that inside, I'm not so sure how it'll be by then, but yeah, I'm keen on Tiny Terror.
Yeah, well, you've got time to assess it, haven't we? And that's probably one thing. And Michael can either double his bet or look to maybe play something else in the race anyway. If with that race, what time is it? 4:10. I'm with the 12 Zamoon, though. Was happy to have something on that, and I have got Tiny Terror in the mix as well, Michael.
BP, that's one of the great things about the new operating system for the tab. Some people don't like it, but you can cash your bet out. And a couple of times since it's come on board, I've backed horses, and then there's been rain on the day or the inside's played off and I've cashed out. And that's the beauty of it. You get a 10% fine, but if the inside's off by that stage, I'm going to cash out a Tiny Terror and go to the footy and forget about it. But if it's on, then I've done the right thing at the $10. That was the logic I was trying to use anyway. We'll get back to you guys in a sec. Last on the card, we have a really good field here. And Thad, I thought this was an interesting betting contest because there's plenty of horses here who punters tend to like. They like Bobby. They like Crystallise because the form is good. Prince Hareem, though, has that feeling. Lee Thinnis, Tony Pike, we've been here before. Thad, you just get the feeling that if they come for this one later on, it's going to be hard money.
Yeah, and they've come already, to be fair, Michael. $6.50 Prince Hareem. He's had that freshen up after he stepped to a mile. He's back to 1,400 metres, which looks like will perhaps suit him a little better after he just struggled to run out a strong mile on the eye anyway at its last start. So, yes, $6.50. You took the words right out of my mouth. This is a great betting race. I love this race. Crystallise, our $3.80 favourite. Look, watch out for straight sets and Mr. Incredible a little bit earlier on in the card. We really rated the last start win here, 4 kg claim, and Mr. Incredible and straight sets raced in behind Crystallise last time, so that might be a nice little Franken form. But look, Bobby Dazzler, as you mentioned, Prince Hareem as support. Code Cracker at $9. You've had nothing like that sort of price around this horse in its last few starts, and he likes the Rapa surface as well. Tavi Court, the CD Raider, is at $11, and I haven't even mentioned the second favourite, Supreme Heights, who's going for 3 in a row. So absolutely cracking race. I'm really looking forward to the last. Best back Prince Hareem, ahead of Code Cracker, then Bobby Dazzler, but take your pick in the last, Michael.
As we check out the speed map for the last, Prince Hareem has no interest in speed maps because when we all backed him about 2 starts ago, he dropped out by 6 lengths at the start. BP, is this a classic case of everybody backed Prince Hareem from 30s into 5s and it goes enormous and it runs 4th and therefore you keep chasing your money when really has he shown us enough to suggest that that money deserves to be chased? It's one of those interesting ones because you're hoping to get your money back, but it's gone. You can't actually get that money back, so if you're following him, you're betting with new money.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder, Michael. Yeah, you're right. His trial was good, though, so it got me all fired up again, that's for sure, around Prince Hareem here this afternoon. And it was hard to ignore what Crystallise did, though, last time to the races. 12-length margin or something like that. And he's even in the horse at the bottom, Maiden, as well, who's won by a collective margin of nearly 12 lengths as well in Supreme Heights. So it is a good betting contest. Look, I was happy to go with Prince Hareem again. I thought he did some nice things in that trial. He went to the line under his own steam here when finishing into 3rd.
Yeah, it's a really nice trial. We're going to have a look at it now. That's the horse widest on the track. He does map to get back, but there's a heap of speed in this last race. There's speed everywhere, so I think he's probably in the right spot. That's the Meteoric Lass out wider on the track in the Futura colours, isn't it? Or is it actually in front, Meteoric Lass? Yeah, so anyhow, the run's pretty nice from Prince Hareem, and everyone's spotted it by all accounts. It's a difficult race, though, isn't it?
It is.
Really hard. I've gone with Crystallise once again because I really like that Polly Gray form, and once again, Polly Gray was a horse who'd pushed Crystallise 2 starts back before Crystallise did this.
Amazing, wasn't it? I mean, like, seen Crystallise go around a few times, but this horse just kept on running with Masahashi Zumi, who's putting
Going
together
really well.
a good couple of weeks of late for Massa as well. So it gets down to 54 kilograms, and look, there's obviously been that nibble. What else? I mean, I thought Tavi Court running number 9. He looks like a very nice horse from the Central Districts. He won with a fair bit of authority. I know we're not going to show you the race, but he came from a wide gate, pressed on and kept on running.
Yeah.
I think he's a horse to look out for, maybe even over Hawke's Bay Carnival. I think he's that sort of horse on the undercard, and also Supreme Heights at the bottom.
Yeah,
of the
it just
book.
hasn't run worse than second, Tavi's Court. So what we really needed was the Leg Up podcast. What happened to it this week?
Technical difficulties, I think they put it down to. So, that's all I can say, really.
Okay.
Thad Taylor was running the cutter and it fell apart.
Yeah, oh well.
All right, let's hope that doesn't happen tonight with Richie Mwanga anyway, running the cutter for the All Blacks, and they get it done. But I'm going to go with Prince Hareem in the last race of the day. Michael?
All right, boys, that's lots of information, but we want you to crystallise it for us. Just make it nice and simple because people have other things to do. They've got kids to take to school and they've got to put their washing out and all that sort of stuff. So explain it to us like we're stupid. How do we make some money today?
All right, it was the weekend, so my kids are at home at the moment, but I did that in the rugby. But I like Because in the first race. I'm happy to try and get the day underway with Because. So going with that runner, and then Irish Flame is my value bet. I'll take a multi with Because into Tiakau Shark for $40. And personally, I'd take the same multi and take English Drama to run a place as well. And also we'll go 20 to win on Just Treasure at around $8. Irish Flame to win, and Prince Hareem at $6.50 in race number 8. What about you, Aidan?
I'm really similar, actually. I found Te Ako Shark as my bet of the day in the feature, but also liking Because, and both of them at even money. So I think what we can do is put $50 on. If one of them wins, you get your money back. If both of them win, then we've made a bit of money. If they both happen to lose, and we go home with that tail between our legs. But I'm going with Te Ako Shark in the feature, and really looking forward to seeing him back. And I'll follow Michael Guerin. It would be his nickname from his rugby days, wouldn't it? Especially running around those big Polynesian boys up in Auckland Club Rugby. He'd be the Tiny Terror.
He would be, yeah. He would be an actual pest, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he really would be an absolute first 5 pest, would Michael Guerin. A bit like Jeff Tuvey, I reckon. He's that sort of player anyway. Anyway, we'll pass it back to you, Michael, and all the best. Good luck.
I think the word you're looking for is scared whitebait. That's what you're looking for to describe my rugby career. Thanks, fellas. We'll get back to you guys shortly. It's a big day at the office, and we know Aidan's been at walking the track. You guys have done plenty of research. It's going to be a lot of fun for us.